Hey, what up, guys? This is going to be a real quick review for Malevolence 2 Bereavement, and this was originally put out in 2011, and it's a sequel to Malevolence 1, obviously, which I reviewed a week or two ago, and I really dug Malevolence 1. It just had a lot of throwbacks to a lot of slashers and stuff, and I just really dug that movie and everything. Loved the vibe of it, the setting. Now we get to this one, and this is a prequel, which I wasn't expecting, but this the killer in the first one, he's a little kid in this one, and it shows how he got snatched up and the guy who kind of brought him under his wing, and that's pretty much it. This Alexandra Daddario, which she looks really good in this, she ends up, her parents dying, and she ends up living with her uncle, who's Michael Biehn from Terminator and Aliens. Everyone should know him. But so she ends up living with him, and she obviously is having a hard time. She ain't digging it and all that, and she's just kind of being a bitch or whatever, just living in this new town or whatever, life turned upside down. And essentially the guy who's kind of mentoring the young serial killer from the first movie, he wants to abduct her, so they abduct her, and then it's kind of like the efforts of Michael Biehn and the family and all that to kind of get Alexandra Daddario back and kind of figure out the stuff with that. So that's the general consensus of, or general storyline there, without giving anything really away. To me, this movie didn't really feel anything like the first one. It didn't have a lot of the throwbacks that I enjoyed in the first one. It just, I don't know, this felt like almost like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake, where the first one did too, kind of, but it still had like a retro slasher feel to it, where this one doesn't have that retro slasher feel, in my opinion. This just feels like an early 2000s, kind of like a torture porn type movie, which I have no problem with that. I like a lot of torture porn movies, but this one, I don't know, it just seemed kind of generic, and nothing really stood out to it for me. Like, I thought the direction was really good, the sets were really good, and everything looked really good as far as that goes. There was nothing shoddy or amateurish about it. It's just, I don't know if I saw this too late or what, but it just didn't click with me like the first one did. It was just okay. It wasn't terrible, but it wasn't amazing. I'm glad I only paid like $13 for it. But the first one's amazing. That's one you should definitely seek out. But I'll read the synopsis on the back here for you. It says, in 1989, 6-year-old Martin Bristol was kidnapped from his backyard swing in Minersville, Pennsylvania. Graham Sutter, a psychotic recluse, kept Martin imprisoned at his derelict pig farm, forcing him to witness and participate in unspeakable horrors. Chosen at random, his victims' screams are drowned out by the rural countryside. For years, Martin's whereabouts have remained a mystery, until 17-year-old Allison Miller, who is Alexandra Daddario, comes to live with her uncle, Michael Biehn, and his 9-year-old daughter, Wendy. Blah, blah, blah. While experiencing her new surroundings, Allison discovers things aren't quite right at the farmhouse. And that's pretty much, the same thing I had said. But there's also a really cool aspect to this, which puts this whole bullhead thing into perspective that's on the side of these. The killer, like the dude who's like the mentor or whatever, he kind of like worships this cow-headed figure or whatever, and at times the figure seems to be alive, so you don't know if this is in their head or legit or what. But I thought that was cool. One biggest complaint about this movie is the first one was perfect length. It was like an hour and 25 minutes. This one's an hour and 50 minutes. Like, no slasher should be that long, in my opinion, unless it really earns it. This one doesn't earn it. This one does kind of drag. There's no way this should be an hour and 50 minutes. Like, that's crazy for this movie. Not enough goes on to limit that amount of time. Like, 10 minutes could have been cut out of the first half hour and you would have had the same sense. Like, there's a lot of stuff that drags in this. I'm kind of bummed out about this movie, to be honest. Like, I was expecting it to be better, because I've heard a lot of people say this is better than the first one. But, this is the Blu-ray put out, I think, distributed by the director. It says Mina Films, who it's the director, Stephen Mena. So I think he's self-distributing these. I saw these on Facebook, and I think he said they're really limited. So I don't know if that's the slipcovers or if the whole release in general are limited. But They're definitely slashers worth picking up. They're worth having in your collection. I think they're kind of a gold standard for independent slashers, just for the professional aspects of it and how they look. You know, the transfers look pretty solid. The blacks were a little shaky in some parts, but overall the Blu-ray looked really solid. Special features is the director's cut with additional footage, has an audio commentary, theatrical trailer, the making of, first look on the set, deleted scenes, and still gallery. So you are getting some special features with it and stuff. And like I said, I bought all 3 of them for 13 bucks each on Amazon. I bought them the day they came out, so they're cheap. So definitely it's worth it picking them all up for less than 40 bucks, you know what I mean? So yeah, that's that. I'll see y'all tomorrow with a review for I'm probably gonna review Star Time, or I think I got Shotgun Dead or something, I don't know, but I'll review something tomorrow. Anyways guys, peace.